ربنا الله ربنا الله ربنا الله ربنا الله ربنا الله ربنا الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على محمد وعلى آله الطاهرين.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم
وَلَعْنَةُ أَعْدَائِهِمْ أَجْمَعِينَ إِلَى يَوْمِ الدِّينِ. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. All praise is due to Him, and may peace and blessings be upon His Prophet, and may peace and blessings be upon His pure and immaculate family. Salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
And may the curse of Allah be upon their enemies till the day of judgment. Salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Let's have one more salawat.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
That salawat sounds like I'm forcing you. Give me a salawat ala Muhammad wa ala
صل على محمد وآل محمد.
There you go. Good. Last one more? Let's go one more.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
There you go. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We spoke last week about the certain ayahs of Surah Bani, the 17th surah in the Holy Quran, and the lessons that we learned from the children of Israel. This particular surah in the Quran has many moral lessons, and I'm giving a brief overview in these lectures on Thursday night, and if somebody wants to learn more, they can attend the classes on Monday. The ayah that I wanted to talk about, the few ayahs that I wanted to talk about, is the ayah of the 17th ayah in this particular surah. It says, and this is where we left off, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَكَمْ أَهْلَكْنَا مِنَ الْقُرُونِ مِنْ بَعْدِ نُوحٍ وَكَافِ بِرَبِّكَ بِذُنُوبِ عِبَادِهِ خَبِيرًا بَصِيرًا. And how many a generation, or how many a town, or a city we have destroyed after the time of Nuh, for none was alike of thy sustainers awareness and insight into his creatures' sins. This particular ayah is coming after the original ayahs talking to Bani Israel. Those ayahs began with referring to Nuh alayhi salam. And it began by telling us that Nuh was an abd, was a slave of God, reminding Bani Israel. Then it went to talk about the first warning and the first punishment, the second warning and the second punishment, and then warning Bani Israel if they return to their actions, that Allah will punish them again. And then we spoke about that Allah does not destroy a town until those who are wealthy or affluent in that particular town, they begin committing sins. This is when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroys that town. And it's very natural that in a town that those who are affluent slowly begin getting comfortable and forget Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they go towards corruption. This is a thing that happens in every nation, in every group of people. Because one reason is that the people who generally have money, generally have the money to spend on those higher expense sins. Sins, especially these days, cost a lot of money. So the more money a person has, many times those people will spend their money on that. So warning the community that money itself, there's a relationship between money and sin, and that money or the wealthy in your community should spend it on those things that are good, should give it in zakat, should give it in charity, should give it in all of those things. Now the verse again refers to how many a generation have we destroyed after the time of Nuh, telling Bani Israel, reverting back to this theme of Nuh, and saying that from the time of Nuh, the father of who Bani Israel traces their lineage to, how many times have we destroyed a nation? Why? Because all of these prophets were prophets of Bani Israel that came after Nuh. How many of them have we destroyed? Just recently I read on Yahoo News, just this morning, they discovered a tomb, a new tomb of a new pharaoh that had been lost for 4,000 years. And consistently, every 2-3 months, they're discovering a new tomb, a new tomb, a new tomb. Allah continuously refers to this as signs, evident signs, material signs that we can look at and we can refer to. That this tomb was there. Now look at the person who occupied the tomb. The tomb itself is, only the foundations of the tomb is left, but the tomb itself is gone. Imam Ali alayhi salam says the same thing in Nahj al-Balagha. He says to the people, he says, don't you look at those houses that you have, that you lived in? Don't you think that somebody inhabited those houses before you? Even if you say, yes, oh, well, I built this house. Don't you think that somebody was there before you were there? That city was destroyed and a new city was built. That city was destroyed and a new city was built. So these are evident signs that Allah is telling people, think about them, contemplate, look. Allah mentions this many times to us in the Quran. Travel through the earth and see those who were there before you. See those who built. Well, I was just driving down the 405 and I saw these huge, massive buildings. And I thought that, I was thinking for a second, these are giant buildings here. And these temples or these pyramids or these things that were built for the pharaohs were far bigger than these. And Allah many times refers to us in this way and reminds us, gives us admonition. He says, whatever you think you have, people in the past have had those things and much bigger. People in the past have been much richer. Pharaoh was much richer. Qarun was much richer. All of these rulers were much richer. So this refers, it tells Bani Israel, and it's a warning. Look at all the people that were destroyed. The people of Lut, of Ibrahim, of so many people, of Pharaoh. All of these people were destroyed. And now they're finding the ruins to these things. And then it ends, this particular ayah ends off by saying, وَكَفَى بِرَبِّكَ بِذُنُوبِ عِبَادِهِ خَبِيرًا بَصِيرًا. Because no one has the like of your sustainer''s awareness, Allah's awareness, into the insight of His creatures' sins. So, warning us that no one truly knows the sins of Allah's creatures, of His abd, except Him. Giving a warning to us that not only it's the apparent sins or the sins that we display in public, but it's those hidden sins that Allah is truly aware of. And when those hidden sins increase and they become manifest in society, Allah destroys a town or a place. Then the surah continues in verse 18, وَمَنْ كَانَ يُرِيدُ الْعَاجِلَةَ عَجَلْنَا لَهُ فِيهَا مَنْ نَشَاءُ لِمَنْ نُرِيدُ ثُمَّ جَعَلْنَا لَهُ جَهَنَّمَ يَصْلَهَا مَذْمُومًا مَضْهُورًا. And if you do not wish for the transitory things of this life, for the temporary things here, we give them quickly. We grant them readily. To such persons, to such people as we will, in the end we have provided hell for them. They will burn therein disgraced and rejected. Now this ayah is very strange. It says that if any of you, telling Muslims, if any of you wish to have the material things in this life, Allah will give it easily. It's not Allah will hold it back. Allah is ghani, He can give anything. But Allah is warning us that do not think that these material things will cause you happiness. Do not think just because you get material things or you see other people with these material things that they are happy. That just because they have big houses and cars and money and all of these things, Allah is warning us of the end. That Allah is giving it to them, these are transitory things. It's for a short period of time and it's gone. Just as Imam Ali alayhi salam says in Nahj al-Balagha, he said that a moment of sin causes an eternity of disgrace. So just because people have things for the short